Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1993's Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
I get it. It's a pun.
It is a pun. It is a pun. The only issue that I have, and before we even get into Twitter and all that stuff, the only issue I have with this movie is I don't know where we're at because I haven't seen Sister Act 1. Am I going to be lost? And if that's your question, the answer is no. You're not going to be lost.
No.
All you should know is that Whoopi Goldberg and a bunch of nuns are friends. So there you go. That kicks off the movie. But before we get into the sister act of it all, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_idol. And if you want to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. Let's get into the cast of Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. So this film stars Whoopi Goldberg as Dolores, Kathy Najimy as Sister Mary Patrick, Maggie Smith as Mother Superior, Barnard Hughes as Father Maurice, James Coburn as Mr. Crisp, and Lauryn Hill as Rita Watson. And a slew of others that are part of the part of Dolores's music class that are
ton of people in it.
Yeah, very young actors at the time, actors and actresses. But
I'm surprised, given the fact that this was a major Hollywood production, they were not all in bra and panties the whole fucking time.
No, but they got him in Catholic schoolgirl outfits, so.
You were right.
But let's jump into this one. So this movie opens with Dolores performing in Vegas, and her nun friends come to see her show. They go back to Dolores's dressing room, and the nuns say that Mother Superior sent them to get Dolores and bring her back to San Francisco to see her, because apparently they're teaching at like this new school now, and they need her help.
Where she just happened to go to school, too.
Yes.
Which never really comes up. Like, she doesn't even realize they used to have singing competitions back in the day at the school she went to. And she's a singer.
Yeah.
There's no time. Why they had to utter one line about her going there before made no sense. It never comes up again.
No, because when they go into, they open up like the dirty, dingy basement music area, and she's just like, trophies and stuff.
Yeah. Did you know they did this? No. You went here as a singer.
She says yes, she'll at least talk to Mother Superior. So once in San Fran, Mother Superior tells Dolores that they're in over their heads at the new school. She asks Dolores to become a music teacher. And Mother Superior also does a great thing here, which is, you talk about realism. She lays a guilt trip on Dolores like nobody except for either a Catholic or especially a Catholic nun can do.
Oh, so you're gonna be like that, huh, with the guilt? Guilt? I would never use guilt.
You're gonna get like just a Vegas singer to just come in. She's gonna save the school.
That's like, and I have seen Sister Act 1, unlike you.
I did. It's been forever ago.
I'm a Whoopi-ophile, okay? I can't get enough.
Well, I probably wouldn't have put it quite like that.
I get in Sister Act 1, right? The whole thing, she's hiding from the mob. There's a thing going on. She's the nun. And through singing, she brings out everybody else's voices in the choir because there's already a choir.
Yes.
And then they, go on to save the covenant or the fucking, I don't know what it's called. It all is gross. So in this one now, you're going, hey, I have a great idea. As you said, Vegas headliner. Come on down to our nunnery and teach these kids. And Whoopi's response is right. Teach him what?
And why?
Well, teach him music. Okay, cool. But also, I'm not qualified to be a fucking teacher. What do you want me to do? Like, for all you know, I could have been just Ike Turnering my entire time in fucking Vegas, and now I'm going to take it out on Lauryn Hill and the fucking Scooby Gang here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to beat the shit out of everybody because I'm not a teacher.
Here's the thing. So I obviously we all know by now that I went to Catholic school, grammar school, high school. They had regular teachers that weren't priests or nuns. The whole, you put the habit on and you're a nun and you're the Sister Mary Fuckstick or whatever the hell her name is, and you got to pretend to be. For what? This wasn't in the 70s where it had to be priests, and like this was in the 90s.
No,
that thing wasn't a thing.
Honey. It's called back in the habit. If you don't put her in a habit, you can't be back in the habit.
Well, you could just be
fucking think, dickhead.
You know what? Fair point. I'm the asshole here. Cool.
What do you think we're going to do? Change the title to the movie? Get the fuck out of here.
And not just call it Sister Act 2?
Right.
With no punny thing afterwards? We can't do that. How dare we? Dolores has to dress like a nun now because the priests that run the school frown upon a non-nun teaching at the school. So Dolores meets the priests and Mr. Crisp, the school administrator, with his crooked ass hands. Like, was he an offensive lineman when he was younger? Because his hands are crooked as fuck. He was like, I'd like to shake your hand. And I was like, yo, get that fucking paw away from me. I couldn't with him. I literally, the rest of the time, I just kept staring at his hands. And also, the school administrator can be a non-priest. But you know what? I'm going to give it up here. I'm not even going to go down this road, but whatever. The administrator can be whoever the fuck. But if you got to teach, you got to be part of the Catholic Church. Cool.
There's one thing I can tell you for certain without knowing much about Catholicism or really any of the religions is priests and nuns and all of them are very bad with money because they're constantly fucking asking for my money.
That's true.
So, yeah, I want an administrator that actually went to something like business school where arithmetic isn't 1 + 1 = Jesus. The IRS doesn't accept that, fucko.
Listen, I would gladly, what these priests and nuns from Sister Act 2 should have done was called Kevin Costner, like, can you build a baseball field in the back here and we'll charge $20 a head as the tithing? And that's how we raise the money?
At least a half court for the 3 ghosts.
Father Ignatius here then takes Dolores down to the music class for her first day, and the students are unruly, so she steps in and tries to take control, and Rita Wilson tells Dolores what's up, and it's a shit class that people just fly through, so nobody really cares about the class. And by the way, this dude that plays Frankie.
And who are you?
Frank K.
I was waiting. I was wondering which one of us was going to get to this don't do that or PSA first.
Okay, I'll let you do the PSA. I'm just going to state one thing. First of all, Frankie, okay, is in high school. That bitch is 30 years old, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Listen to him speak and rap. He's exactly at the age group he should be for his learning ability.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hello, white teenagers, not named Marshall Mathers. Uncle Corey here. Stop. End of PSA. Just fucking Stop.
You were right.
Frank A almost made me start listening to country music.
That'll never happen.
I hated him with such a passion. Oh my God.
You can keep your red Solo cup and your pickup truck. I'm good over here.
I hated Frank A so much, I joined ISIS just so I could kill a white person.
The students after school devise this plan to try to mess with Dolores until she quits, and they start with putting glue on her seat, and Mother Superior and Dolores's friends then go to her room and say it's okay to leave, but she decides to stay after she hears Father Maurice and Mr. Crisp having a meeting where they discuss the school closing after the semester finishes because it doesn't get any community funding. It doesn't get community funding. First of all, have you asked?
The hell?
Because it seems like they've never reached out to the community.
No.
Second of all, this isn't how Catholic schools are run. Catholic schools are private schools that get funded by tuition and donations. Tuition being half of how they get their money. And then what they do is they wait till graduation and then like, oh, this guy became important. Let's fucking hit him up for cash. That's how that shit works. Apparently nobody pays tuition. This is a public school. So a public Catholic school isn't a thing. Mm-mm. And no, maybe make a phone call, maybe do a fundraiser. There was no candy bars being sold, nothing. So they're like, oh, we got to close the school because we don't know how to ask people for money. But which, by the way, isn't going to be taxed. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Exactly. I feel like they confused a school with an orphanage.
That's 100% right.
Like, that's the only thing I can come. Like, this was originally supposed to be an orphanage, and at the last minute, they were like, yo, we just found this lady named Lauryn Hill. Fucking kid's got a voice, but she's like 18. We'd have to kick her the fuck out of school. And they're like the orphanage, and they're like, nope, it's a school now. Just make it a school.
It's a high school. It's a public Catholic high school, because that's a thing.
And her mother proves that rewrites were done. Hard rewrites were done.
Absolutely.
But we'll get to the mom.
Yes. So Dolores here then tells the nun gang that the school's going to be closing, and they decide to do something to try to save the school. So Dolores goes back to class. She gets down to business. She takes control of the class. Rita tells her to go kick rocks, and she walks out.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, Ritas of the world. Uncle Corey here. It's cool you read a book about Castro or fucking Lenin, right? And you're like, we're going to get him, and I'm taking control. You have no fucking power, because if they flunk you, you're done.
Yes.
Whether you're allowed to sing, whether you're allowed to fucking throw a football, whether you're allowed to fucking just go to school on a scholarship. If they flunk you, you're done. So sit down and shut the fuck up. Unless you're funny like I was. Then you're awesome. And they just don't appreciate who you are inside.
Dolores here then gathers the priests and the nuns and tells them to spice up their classes. And if they're gonna close anyway, they might as well do what they want. And I don't know how you get a priester and like spice up your math class. What do you want me to fucking like LeBron and bring fucking powder and like, hey, 2 + 2 is 4. Get the fuck out of my class. Like, cool, spice up your math class by juggling or whatever the fuck she wants them to do.
It takes 20/20 vision to learn that long division. Fuck out of here. Fuck you. Like, come on. That's what she's like, spice up the classes. Cool, like how? I don't know. Well, neither do we. That's why we haven't.
You got Father fucking giant mustache pee-pee touch who's like, I mean, I got a couple ideas how we can spice up class. After hearing a couple of her students sing, Dolores comes up with the idea to turn her class into a choir. And she starts by showing everyone her nun choir at an unauthorized field trip to a nursing home.
You were brought into this school to be a music teacher. We're like on week fucking 5 in this first semester, and you're just like, wait a second, you guys can sing? That's what they're supposed to be doing. When you walked in the door, you heard them singing the very first day.
Yes.
You walked out into the basketball court and you saw them having fucking like little rap battles. It never dawned on you to connect through these kids through singing, not talking about the fucking Supremes, but actually singing. Jesus H. Christ, lady. And by the way, newsflash, asshole, you're in a Catholic school. You're a music teacher. I think I'll form a choir. That sounds like a good idea. Bitch, please. The fuck out of here.
Dolores gets in trouble here for the field trip to the nursing home by Father Maurice, and some of the students overhear the conversation and that the school's going to be closing. So they go and they're like, we got to do something because our school is closing. Let me tell you something. As someone who, went to a Catholic high school in a very not awesome area, basically, I'm pretty sure they filmed this where I went to high school. And if we overheard a conversation like, hey, school's closing, I heard fucking Father Dipshit and, Sister Mary Shitfuck talking about how there's no funding and the school's going to close, we'd be having a party. We wouldn't be like, we got to save the school because stuff and things and Jesus or whatever the reasoning is behind, trying to save the school. There would be none of that. And then here they're also just like, well, I think we've taken things too far with Dolores. Like, this is like, we got to save the school. So now we need to join forces with the nuns and whatever. Like, I'm like, none of this would happen at all.
No, this is all ridiculous. This was about the time where I started doing my own narration. And I was just like, hey guys, if we had the opportunity to form a choir, we could enter the big singing competition at the end of the movie. And for the grand prize of $20,000, we could win the whole darn thing. Let's go, guys. We can do it and save the school for everyone.
My sentiments exactly, Your Honor.
I get it. It's fucking Sister Act 2 back in the habit. The plot isn't going to be thick. There is not going to be a Kaiser Soze-like ending. We all know what's happening. But at the end of the day, I mean, why does it always have to be the same fucking thing? The big competition and the grand prize and we can win it. It's like, fucking shoot me in the fucking head.
Corey, it's about overcoming adversity, okay?
Yeah. Is it? Is it?
It would be cool, though, if at the end they did have a Kaiser Soze-like ending where, like, Dolores is limping away and she slowly starts walking like normal and then she starts dancing and she's back in Vegas again.
Like James Coburn pulls up and like picks her up and they just like, he passes her a lit cigarette. Like, how'd it go, babe? And she's like, took them for all they had again. And then they left.
It's like an Ocean's 11 kind of, I like it.
And that's why Back in the Habit has that double meaning. Like, I was doing fine and you bitches pulled me back into this life. Dog's gonna be a dog. I'm about to steal all your fucking money.
I like it. So Dolores then takes the class into like the old dingy music room here, and she starts teaching them Mary Had a Little Lamb. And this is where we see Rita peeking her head in, and Dolores invites her in, but then she runs away because I don't want you to know that I'm interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. I was going to do like a whole angry thing here, but I think I'm just going to, this is what they call a callback, kids.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, Frankays of the world, not named Marshall Mathers. Stop. End of PSA.
Yeah, I don't sing, I rap.
Yeah, that's right. I rap too.
Listen.
Take it from somebody who desperately tried to rap everything under the sun I possibly could It doesn't fucking work. You ain't about it. You've never been about it. You ain't never gonna be about it. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter who your friends are. Shut the fuck up and learn. You know who you need to learn to be? Remember that fucking group, like All for One, where there was just one white guy with fucking like round ass glasses, just saying in the background, real soft and quiet and shit? Be that guy.
He's gonna be in Color Me Bad someday.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
When they do the I wanna sex you up, you be the guy that goes, all right. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Your job in the music video is to just pull those little blue circle glasses down to the tip of your nose and go, yeah. That's your job. That's your job in this video. All right? Now, Frank A., get the fuck out of the shot so we can catch the real talent singing.
All right, girl. That's it. Out of frame.
Yeah, and then you just slide right the fuck out of frame.
Back to Wanye and Nate.
So later, Sister Mary Robert sees Rita and her friend singing in the chapel, and she talks to Rita about singing in the choir, and Rita runs away again. And Sister Mary Robert then tells Dolores to help Rita, and Dolores here reluctantly agrees and then gives her a book that she read as a child that helped her become a singer.
It was by Terrence Mann.
She read about the Brooklyn Dodgers and was like, I need to sing again. So
Abbott's Field. Let's have a catch.
Listen, I'm just going to throw this out there.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, teachers or Vegas performers or nuns or whatever you may be masquerading as this week. If you're trying to like reach out to a student, and there's plenty of movies where it's like, I'm reaching out to the poor inner city youth, whatever. Cool, that's fine. You want to film another one of those movies? That's cool, be my guest. What you don't want to do is, and this was 1993, right? It doesn't matter whether it was 93 or 2003 or 2023. Don't give the student a book to read, okay? It's not getting read. Teach them the lesson. Have a conversation with them. Don't go, hey, I was once like you. Here's the book that you took out of your bra or whatever, wherever the fuck you had it hidden, and read this stank-ass book, and you'll miraculously want to come back to school and sing and whatever. That's not how you do things. How about this? How about just have a conversation with her, and then we can progress the movie along that way? Does that work? Does that work for everybody? Yeah. I think that works. Because Rita does what no student here would ever do, which is, fuck you, nunnery lady. And then she goes home and lays on her bed and reads the book. And all of a sudden she's inspired to join the choir and come back to school and yada, yada. Rita then shows up to music class. We get a montage of the students learning under Dolores and fixing up the old music room. And the students then perform in front of the rest of the school. And she gets them through the nerves from the start. They perform well. They get a standing ovation from everyone except for the curmudgeon Mr. Crisp and his crooked hands. Like, I don't like what's going on here. And
dude, you're so mean. He physically can't clap. What do you want him to
do? You were right.
He might not be able to physically clap. And he also has apparently a resting bitch face too, because he can't wipe that fucking shitty old man face off his fucking head.
Well, that I can explain also. That's fucking 30 years of unfiltered Marlboros and red meat.
Yes, it is.
It's just what happens to your face, you stupid shit.
I'm so happy. They sing so well.
The nuns here then decide to enter the kids into an all-state competition, and they get mixed reviews from the students and Dolores because, again, as we've stated, Dolores was like, oh, this school has been in singing competitions? I know I went here for 4 years, but I had no idea. But everybody, finally gets on board, and Dolores goes to Father Maurice, who says no right off the bat until she convinces him otherwise. And he tells her she can do it, but she needs to raise the money herself and get parental consent forms signed from all the students.
Foreshadow. Rita ain't getting shit signs.
I'm surprised!
This is where we get into Rita and her mom, right?
Yes.
Like really dive into Rita rejoin choir and all that.
Yeah.
Corey's life lessons.
Parents of children. Uncle Corey here. I don't care if you don't let your dogs dream. If you're a parent of a dog, they don't need to dream big. They can stay focused on the here and now. But let your fucking kids dream. For the love of Christ. You might not make it. Yeah, they might not. Sometimes those who want it will just work that much harder to get it. They won't starve. They won't die. You're sending her out on a fucking mission to fucking hit a pipe and get fucking pregnant in 2 weeks.
Yes.
What in the fuck are you doing talking to your daughter like that?
Listen, as a musician, okay, because the whole story behind the mom is her dad was a musician and he tried to make it and couldn't make it and yada yada and whatever. As a musician who tried to make it and did not make it, you also have a job that you do during the day. You're playing nights, weekends, any chance you can get, any stage you can get on, because as a musician, as a performer, that's what you want to do, right?
Yep.
Some musicians and performers do what her dad did, which is like, music is the only thing for me and it's the only thing I can do. Yeah, that guy's going to die broke with no insurance.
Hi, that's me.
So, but what you can do is both things. Both things can be true. You can go to school and get a job, and you can also try to make it. And if you can't, then you could do, hi, this is me, play on the weekends for extra cash because you enjoy playing music.
Yes.
Both things can happen. This whole, you're either hard this way or hard that way, gross. You can do both.
Yeah, and reality check here for mom. One, don't blame your daughter for your shitty fucking choices in broke ass men. It's not her fault fucking TLC didn't come out with no scrubs. That is not her fucking problem. That's your goddamn problem for not having any fucking sense. If you wanted a man with money, go find a fucking man with money. Don't marry for love, shit ass.
You're right again.
And second, maybe take a step back for a second and realize that your daughter is joining a church choir and you're acting like motherfucking Furious Styles and Trey just is covered in blood holding a fucking gun getting ready to go out and do dirt. Bring it all the way down. She's singing in a required class for high school in a church choir. And you're like, my daughter ain't right. Are you, church choirs? Hell no, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. Next, you're smoking jazz cigarettes in a nightclub and getting fucked by the band. Ain't happening on my watch.
Dolores finds out about Rita not being able to go to the competition because her mom refuses to sign the form. And so she goes to her mother to try to convince her, but gets the door shut in her face because cool.
And why would Dolores not blow her cover here? This would have been a perfect spot for Dolores to be like, okay, walk in the house again, uninvited, and be like, check this shit out. And takes off her my name's motherfucking Dolores. You can fucking look me up in the white pages or whatever we did back then.
Yep.
And figure out I'm making X amount of dollars in Vegas. I'm fucking got this apartment, blah, 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 blah. So singing does pay the bills. Your broke ass husband couldn't sing as good as me or his daughter. Not our problems. She's singing. I was expecting some sort of spectacle here. And Whoopi's just like, all right, cool. She shut the door in my face. Disrespect is dope. I'm out.
Yep. And we're done. And we're done here.
Yeah.
So They start doing some fundraising and they hold like the street concert, and Dolores and the nunnery raise enough money to attend this competition. And during the street concert, Mr. Crisp recognizes Dolores from her Vegas show. So that's like a plot point now. Like, so he knows that she's not really a nun.
And this would have been maybe my rewrite, especially for a movie like this, because he clearly recognizes her at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
He like kind of, does that double take on her, and every time they're together, he kind of is trying to figure out where he knows her from. I wish they would have made him a fan and had him almost lighten up.
Yes.
And like kind of like be in love with her or something like that. You know what I mean? Just,
yeah.
It's a fucking kids movie. Like, just making him like this fucking guy the whole time. That's just, give him a little bit of a soul or something.
Yeah, we've seen Cruella de Vil. Like, come on. Like, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see it again. Just lighten him up a little bit. Just a smidge.
I'm going to chop up the clergy and turn him into a coat.
After he chops up the clergy and turns them into a coat, the students leave for Hollywood to go to this competition. Rita shows up, hands Dolores the parental form that she forged, and she goes with the class to the competition. Meanwhile, Mr. Crisp gives Father Maurice a Rolling Stone magazine with Dolores on the cover, because lounge singers always end up on the cover of Rolling Stone, and they're all in their feelings about it. So Mr. Crisp and the priests then drive to the competition to put the fucking kibosh on the students because they have an issue with Dolores.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
It cuts back then to Rita's mom. She comes home to find a note from Rita that says she went to the competition and I love you and sorry, but not sorry. So we get to the competition. Everyone's nervous backstage and Dolores gives them a talking to and they decide to go on. The priests and Mr. Crisp get to the competition. They find Dolores. Father Maurice decides to let them sing and Mr. Crisp is pissed about it. So this is like some old white people shit. He's so pissed about this situation. He keeps calling her from the time he hands Father Maurice the Rolling Stone magazine through the end of this. And he's like, Sister Mary Fake. She's Sister Mary Fake. And now she has a nickname. And it's Sister Mary Fake. And that's what he calls her through the end of this fucking film.
Sister Mary Christine. Sister Mary Fake.
Didn't you tell the Archdiocese people when you called them about Sister Mary Fake?
I'm calling the cops on you, Sister Mary Fake. I don't need to wear a mask in your church. I'm calling the cops now. My HIPAA.
So he's trying to get the kids to not perform, and the priests lock him in a closet because priests are really good at that. And the kids hit the stage, they perform, and Rita sees her mother show up in the crowd. She freezes for a moment, then crushes it. And the rest of the students join her on stage and perform in their own unique way. And they win the competition. And the board decides to keep the school open because of the choir. And Mr. Crisp is foiled. Like, the board, who apparently has all of the power to either close the school or keep the school open, decides to keep the school open because the choir won a competition?
Praise him.
You must be kidding. With a choir like that? We've got to get ready for next year's competition.
That's not a thing. Like, okay, cool. You got a choir. You're now a one-trick pony.
You know when it's a thing? When the big man upstairs likes the sound of your voice.
Sure, I guess.
Thanks, big guy.
But listen, so the movie ends. I can't with you today. I just can't. I can't.
Dude, God's clearly a rap fan. He's going to take Frank A in the next couple weeks, put him next to DMX and Nip.
The movie ends as the students find out about Dolores' true identity. Rita gets confronted by her mother backstage, who gives her a big hug, and everything's cool there. And the students confront Dolores, and she admits that she's a Vegas singer. And Mr. Crisp at the end gets all the credit for the students like winning the competition. But like by the board and
well,
whatever,
and this is where I'm confused too, because this is like some Maggie Smith Downton Abbey shit. Because she just like she gives him the credit, so he shuts the fuck up. But at the same time, like also like he was trying to get early retirement.
Yeah.
From the board. That's like the fucking F plot of this movie is him trying to get early retirement from the board. And Maggie Smith's like, oh, he needs to go like to special place where his talents will be, necessary. So it's like she gives him the credit, but also rat fucks him out of early retirement because now he's getting sent to fucking Uganda to fucking rescue the fucking school there. Like,
dude, listen,
what is happening?
This plot point is so bullshit because the board was like, hey, Mr. Crisp, you've done a really shitty job with this school. We're going to reward you with early retirement. Listen.
Now, that's some old white people shit.
No shit, right? But if I know anything about the Catholic Church, listen, you could do what you want. There could be stuff done in the rectory behind closed doors and nobody says nothing. You just get shipped off to, like Minnesota or just another parish. You start fucking with their money and you're not fired. You're not offered early retirement. They'll kill you.
Yeah,
you don't mess with the church's money.
Read a damn Brown novel, bro. A fucking albino monk will come and snuff you the fuck out, cuz.
Yeah. Yeah, and his whole thing is like, oh, we can make more money if we just demolish this place and turning it into a parking lot or whatever the fuck. Like, okay, cool, I guess, bro. Like,
yeah, listen to a Joni Mitchell song, Lobster Boy.
They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
Tore down a Catholic school, put up a parking lot. Na, na, na.
Frankie, that's your part. That's your part, Frankie. Bop, bop.
Bop, bop.
Done. Bye, Frankie.
Oh, this would have been such a better movie if they did shit like that throughout this.
It would have been fantastic.
Let's just have cutaways of Frankie with the blue circle rimmed glasses. Oh my God.
Desert Heat the Musical starring the kid cast of Sister Act 2 Back in Habit.
I love it.
With Frank A as Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Frank A is probably like 75 now. Because he was
probably,
30.
He was probably actually in Desert Heat.
Because he was 30 in this film, so he's probably at least 75. He's got to be. So, dude, at the end of the day, like these were... Okay, Sister Act 2. I don't know. Did they make a third one? Something tells me they did. I don't know. No research. These were...
No, Whoopi started farting on the view about this time.
These films were aplenty in the early... I just remember a lot of these types of films. Just ridiculous. They're kids' movies. This is like Sister Act 2, Dennis the Menace, like a lot of these ridiculous kind of comedies with no real semblance of a solid plot. Like, I get it, it's a comedy, but you also have to have a solid plot in order to write any movie, whether it's a comedy or not. But yeah, like this screams early 90s film.
Yes.
Just in general. Like, it's a lot of these films in this same like type of genre of comedy, none of them really hold up because the jokes, the situational comedy, all of it are very, very dated.
Oh yeah. It's I have a hard time with almost any kind of these movies because I find children disgusting at any age.
That's true.
So I find the humor disgusting. I find them disgusting. I can smell them through my television set, and it is disgusting. I don't like any of it. That said, I mean, dude, like Whoopi Goldberg gets a lot of shit now just because of like where her career is. But dude, people forget what a home box office home run hitter she was.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking time out.
Yeah.
Now, Sister Act 2 was towards the end of that for sure. So if this is the only thing you really know her from other than The View, I strongly urge you to check out her early career because she could she could go.
Oh, her movies, her stand-up, like all of it. She was hot.
Yeah, she was dope back in the day.
For a long period of time.
Yep.
Again, like you said, this was kind of towards the tail end of that, of her like hot streak, but she was still, you put her in a movie, you put her in a comedy and shit, or a drama. You put her in anything and you were making money hand over fist. So
that's it.
I get why this movie was made. Okay.
Yep.
The first Sister Act, that was like, okay, that the plot was a little bit better. The situations were a little bit better. The humor was a little bit better. Yeah. This was just, we need to capitalize on the cash cow. And hey, Whoopi, we're going to give you even more money to do this one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plot? Where's the script? Script isn't done yet. It'll be there on first day. On first day of shoot, we'll have the script. You could go through it then. Like, that's what this movie seemed like to me.
Yeah, it 100% is. And the first Sister Act is actually a very good comedy. It's funny. It's kind of original from the aspect of a female being in the part as opposed to men who normally would play that part, like a Nuns on the Run, which is another kind of these 90s super dated movies.
Yeah.
We're no angels. You know, there's a fucking million of them. Obviously, fucking Lauryn Hill became a god.
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. I mean, Miseducation is, to me, one of the best, my favorite albums ever made. I fucking love it. It's hanging on my wall right now. So, yeah, I mean, seeing young-ass Lauryn Hill and actually taking half the movie to figure out who the fuck she was kind of fun. But overall, yeah, dude, this movie's just, it's so dated. I mean, if you have a kid, maybe they'll like it. I don't fucking like anything about this movie whatsoever, other than the fact that I respect Whoopi, I respect Lauryn. That's it.
I respect Frank K. Shout out to Frank K.
And who are you? Frank K.
Hey! Whoa! Hey!
I was a teenager when this movie came out. I can see if you were like 10, 11, especially 10 or 11 when the movie came out, like, this is a great movie. Like, that's a funny ass movie. Outside of that, like, once you're at like 14, I think this movie, even back then, this movie just becomes like I don't like that. You know what I mean? So but everything you said, it's still dated. It doesn't really hold up. But yeah, maybe hopefully eventually we'll get a request for Sister Act 1 and we could just do Sister Act.
Could do the good version of the franchise known as Sister Act.
Yes, exactly. But that's all I got. Do you got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. And this was 1993's Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
It's a pun. Get it?
Get it?